got that primary colored slide in front of you, and I'll drop the link one more time in the chat box in case that was just too fast for you to get that QR code out there. You can just click on there, and the red box is what we need to screenshot. Let's go ahead and dive in, everybody. We're 5 minutes past the hour, and I like to be respectful of your time. What that means when I say respectful of your time is that if there is a question, so I like to keep things highly interactive. I want to answer your question during the time that I'm presenting something or reviewing something, just because it will be helpful to you. But if it takes one full sentence for you to write it in chat, know that that takes about a minute for me to read it out loud, and all you see is the top of my head, which is a terrible learning experience for everyone, so I save those to the end. Now, I will turn the recording off at the end. Q&A will not be covered other than the interactive Q&A during the session, will not be included in the recording, because sometimes when people do start going into details about things that they're doing, they give some things that they might want to keep private and confidential and not on a recording floating around somewhere. So I do turn that off, and plus it's the benefit. So it's for their privacy, but also the benefit to the people who stayed in the room. All right. Hello from Oklahoma City. How can we obtain the first webinar? Oh, Mary Lou, you can't ask me that here, but you absolutely can email me. So however you were registered, that's the email address. That's the best place. It's not the same link at all. As I said, that link is only going to be good until the session is over. Once the session is over, it's done. You will not be able to access any of the slides there. They will then be emailed to you in another link. Definitely check your spam filter, everybody, because we usually find that everybody will say, oh, I didn't see it, and then they look in spam or the promotions tab, which happens sometimes if you're using Gmail, and then they will absolutely find everything that they're looking for. Okay, you're very welcome. Thank you for asking. That's what you need to do. That's what the chat box is there for. All right, while you're finding the chat box and you're getting those slides and you're saying hello, you are welcome from Peoria, Illinois. These are all of our wonderful Google Spark partners who made sure first that they found out exactly what it is that you needed and where you needed the most help, and they asked for that. So they went to us, which is myself and Brittany, who is my Google event manager, and you can see these actual partners are vested in your success. They're there locally, so they know your local resources. They do have the boots on the ground, so they're able to help you. Understand, here we're a team of about 2 people here in this area, in this actual office, which makes it hard when I'm in the front of the room for you to reach anybody to assist you. But what's wonderful is all of these people here, all of these organizations truly want you to be successful. So think about who invited you. How did you hear about this? Where did you get the link to register? And that is the Google partner to go back to. And I want to say welcome and thank you, because there's been some Google partners who have been here from the beginning of when we started to do sessions, like SCORE Austin, like REI Women's Business Center, like actually the University of Houston SBDC, Baker Ripley, Transition Skills Training, Del Mar SBDC, El Paso Community College, Northwest Texas Rural Business Opportunity Program, Houston LGBT Chamber. And then there are also some who are new, who started recently. So within the last, now there's some, when I say within the last, it may have been the last year, like America's SBDC at MSU. But we also have the Kent State, Ohio SBDC, SCORE San Antonio. We have UT Rio Grande Valley SBDC. Oklahoma SBDC has actually been here with us for a while. SoCo SBDC, College Lake County, Illinois SBDC. And yes, I say Illinois because yes, everybody, I was born in Chicago, Illinois, so I know how to pronounce it, and actually grew up in Arlington Heights and Palos Heights and Rochelle, Illinois. So I know Illinois very, very well. We also have the Rio Grande SBDC, Colorado West Central SBDC, and Columbus State Community College. So just take a moment to screenshot that if you need to. If you want to get a copy of the slides, here again, I'm going to put this here. There's the link. It will be active until the session ends. Once the session ends, you're out of luck. It's not there, but it will be emailed to you. So double check your spam filter and your promotions tab. Okay? All right, everyone. We're going to be talking today about how you can get customers, market, and moments. This is a little bit different from some of the sessions that I normally do. Understand that I've been on the Google team for about 7 years, which means that I've had the chance to work with small businesses across the United States and really help them through some of the struggles and issues issues that they have and making sure that they're growing their business and they're reaching their customers. And that is what we're going to be talking about today and how you can get customers. But today is a little bit more hands-on because I want to actually walk you through. A lot of times I'll have a lot of slides in front of me and be going through slides. Understand sometimes there are 50 to 60 slides in a deck. Much shorter this time because we're going to do some actual practical, okay? Which means I'm going to need a little bit of input from you. So don't wander far from the chat box. That's why I wanted to make sure you found it. Now, do understand, while I've been on the Google team for 7 years, I'm not just some Googler that came out of some sort of cubicle or place that is now giving you some theory. I've actually been in business for 20 plus years. I've grown it from business incubator, so I know what it's like to be grassroots and to also be butcher, baker, and candlestick maker in my business, as well as taking care of clients, building and growing, being the chief accountant, as well as the chief janitor. So I understand how it is to be able to do what you need to do to run and market your business, as well as still serve the customer. And that's quite a different juggle, right? Because sometimes you just have to make a decision, sleep or this. So sometimes it's not just as easy as that you need to focus. But a lot of times we are working in our business instead of on. So take a deep breath. And if you need to jot anything down that you need to remember after our session today, write that down so you can just brain dump that and free up your mind so that we can fill that cup of yours with things that you need that you can decide what you want to apply. Okay, so that's my background. I've got the Texas Governor's Excellence in Small Business Award. So I definitely know what it's like to have to run not just a business, but a successful business all the way around, from being able to help support my family and the community, as well as do that in a way that is something that you would say, hey, let's recognize that. So let's go ahead and talk about get customers. If you want to tag me, you'll see at the very bottom there, that is my Twitter handle first, or X as it's called now, Maria Duron. It's Duron. Or you can also find me on Instagram at getfoundgotgrowth. Okay, feel free to tag me because those of you who've been in a session before know that I like to share the love and share your business around. So I'll retweet, repost, share you in my stories. You'll definitely get some visibility there. Now, I'd love to know from a show of ones, how many of you it's your first time here in a session with me? Just let me know in the chat box by a show of ones, first time in a session. Welcome to everybody coming back. First timers, welcome, welcome, welcome. You'll find that I'm highly interactive. I'm very excited to share this with you because I know what it's like to pay for something and then realize later that it's 100% free. So don't be taken by anybody who's calling. And calling's not like this anymore, right? Right? We don't call like this. We call like this now. But if anybody's calling and saying they're Google and you're going to lose your listing and you need to pay this, or you are in jeopardy to do this, then don't believe it. Google does not have the team and the staff to call you at all. You're lucky to get a call back if you are trying to get a call back. So do know that it is not that Google. It's actually some nefarious marketers who are trying to get you to pay for something that's 100% free. So everything, let me just be clear about that. Everything that I'm talking about today is 100% free. I will share some resources when we talk about tracking that I will be very clear. These are paid and I don't get a spiff from that. So I'm not an affiliate. Google is not a partner with them. So there's nothing there other than I was looking for the best resource for the best price because I am about free or small fee. I'm a bootstrap marketer. So I understand what that's like. Hello, Maria. Hello, Jose. Welcome. All right. So let's take a look here what we're going to be talking about. We'll talk about the marketing funnel because it's really important for you to know that. This is where a lot of people do lose really an understanding how they're going to prioritize their time because they don't know where they're stuck in the marketing funnel. In the marketing funnel, there is actually awareness. If people don't know you exist, then they can't do business with you. There's consideration. Do they know, like, and trust you? Do they believe that you're credible? Because it doesn't matter our budget. We still want to work with experts, right? So, and then what is it that actually turns into a conversion? A conversion is a success action that you want, either for them to leave their email address, to buy from you, to download a PDF, to watch the video, to go ahead and leave and fill out your contact form. Whatever it is that you want them to do, that's the success action. And then loyalty. How do you keep loyalty? We'll talk about the persona. Who is the best customer you serve? The biggest trap that most small businesses get caught in when you talk about who that best customer is, they will say, anybody that fogs a mirror, which is code for I have no idea, so I'm just spraying and praying. And while I believe in hope, it is a poor strategy. So hope is wonderful to have, but not for a strategy. So if we don't get the best customer that we can serve that gives us the most pleasure and profit, then we are going to be spending a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money that we just don't have lots of excess of on trying to figure this out and hoping that we're going to get somebody. It doesn't mean that you can't serve anybody that fogs a mirror, but do know if your target is anybody, everybody, and somebody, you'll get their second cousin, nobody. Well, identify what those moments are. See, it's hard for you to actually pinpoint moments when you're looking at a mass of people because all of us have different moments. Some of us care when children leave the nest. Some of us are like, woo! Some of us are crying. Some of us are crying on the first day of kindergarten. Some are saying, phew, now I can get back to coffee club. Whatever it is that you do, there's different personalities and there's different priorities and values. Oh, the Instagram or Facebook page I mentioned, let me go back to that. Right there, it's the second handle, the second at the very bottom at Get Found Got Growth. That is my Instagram handle. All right, so the first one is me on X or Twitter. You're very welcome. See, that's Barbara. You have modeled for me perfectly what I was looking for is people to use that chat box. Just know that if it's lengthy, I'm going to have to save that to the end. Okay. And that's nothing personal. It's really just to make sure I'm respectful of everyone's time. We'll talk about the customer journey map, right? We need to know what is it that they need as they make that decision journey. What are they looking for? And what does it look like when they're a step back from that before they're in that looking zone? So we'll talk more about that. We'll also talk about those next steps. Okay. So what we need to know is that it is more than demographics. There is so much more to a customer than they're a man between the ages of 30 and 35, college graduate, maybe single, or maybe newly married but no children. Those are some of the basic demographics, but we really need to understand really what motivates them, what they're interested in, and what information that they need to make their decisions. That's on us. For us, our job is to be experts on our customers, and that's the heavy lifting that really does rest on our shoulders. So what is it that resonates with them? Do you know how well and do you know your customers really well? And I bring that up because we as small businesses have a great advantage. The large companies, large corporations, they need to come up with a committee to do this and find out and identify who really knows the customer's voice. Then they need to do a survey. Then they need to sit there and have a committee about that and talk about the results of the survey, where we have within arm's length and reach of us the ability to connect with our customers in their own words and find out who they are, right? And really what matters to them. So as we go through a customer journey, we're going to talk about pre-awareness. The reason I say that is because if you look at bullet point number 2, the trigger, you'll see that trigger is what's that event? Okay, I am downsizing my home. My kiddos have graduated off and I need a smaller home because I'm not going to dust and clean this massive home. That might be the trigger. But what's the pre-awareness? What happens before they're in that trigger, the looking zone? Because when people are in the looking zone, they shop just on price. We become commodities then. None of us are any different from anybody else. If I was in a room of 250 realtors and that was happening and I'm trying to decide a realtor, then I'm going to see who answers the phone first and who takes the lowest percentage. So it's both. I'm going to go with who answers the phone first and who actually has the lowest percentage commission. This is not something that I'm just making up from my head. This is actually what survey says, right? So we know that happens at the trigger point. Well, what happens steps before then? Before they're in the looking zone? Well, think about that. Before their children graduated, well, somewhere they were going to school. They probably got a vehicle and turned 16. Somewhere they applied to colleges if they were going to be moving away. Somewhere we see that move that somebody has become a parent of an elementary or primary school child to now a high schooler, which is a whole different dynamic, right? Those of us who have teenagers know they're not the same as they were when they were 6 years old, right? It's not the same conversations. So knowing this, what is it for you and your customer? What are the triggers? Because remember what I said, it's on us to be experts in our customers. That I cannot help you with. You're your industry expert, but as the marketing expert, I can tell you, you need to know this. And every trigger that will help you get to your customers, you need to be very familiar with. So I'm going to really encourage you right now, let's take a quick moment and write down at least 10 triggers for your customer. And then after you do that, we'll talk about what it looks like a couple of steps back from that, before that. Because if you can reach them before they get in that trigger or that looking zone, you have the opportunity for them to see you as an expert, because you can help them and guide them through any of the pitfalls or decisions or questions they might have. A lot of times we have fear because it's the unknown. And when you can be that champion that removes the fear from them, whether you have a product, service, or solution, now it doesn't matter what price is. They've got no like and trust with you. They'll step over dollars to do business with you. So write down 10 triggers. And if you want to share that in the chat box, I would love for you to do that. You don't have to, because this is all about you. But if we were in a room together, right, and I had my coffee cup and I was right up there talking to you, I would be walking up and down saying, do you want to share one of your triggers? What are one of the triggers of your customer? So I'm talking about for your customer. What is it that gets them and instigates them to think, oh my goodness, now I need to do business with you? So one example, again, is as I was saying with a real estate agent, it could be that my children have now gone off to college. And I'm looking and thinking, as they're packing up their stuff or packing their vehicle, I'm going to have an empty house. And it doesn't need to be just big, empty, and my husband and I, or just me rambling through it. All right. So that's one. All right. Tell me some of your businesses here. They have self-published a book. Perfect, Camille. Pet loss, Charlie C. That is a trigger. That's something that immediately happens that they need to address in your business. All right, anyone else got some ideas? Thank you, everybody, for sharing your examples here. Stressed out moms that feel overwhelmed with an unorganized home and they just need help. Yes, they're at that point of, okay, I'm just, I don't even feel like I have any sanctuary anywhere. And what are the words that they're saying, Barbara, right? They're saying that going, oh my gosh, I can't find anything. It takes me, at least a good 30 minutes whenever I start looking for something, and I just put it down, right? Construction companies. So you're a construction company, or you work with construction companies? I'm curious, Julie. Let me know. Confusion, fear the unknown, and price. So that's what happens when they hit that trigger, that looking zone. They need to change the look, have hair loss. So all of a sudden they're starting to see in their brushes and things, oh my, they're seeing spots, right? That's what they're starting to see. Perfect. Thank you, Aisha. Health coaching, they just had a diagnosis. Yeah, you've got that report. And all of a sudden your whole life has been turned upside down, right? They're bringing peace to parents, sending their autistic child to school. Okay, so they're getting diagnoses beforehand, or perhaps they're being challenged. They're already, they may not be immediately aware, so it may not be something that they see right away, but they're hearing from teachers. They're having teachers conference, parent teacher conferences, and they're running into what seems to be the same feedback and the same challenges, overwhelmed by invoicing. I can't even figure out how to log into things, right? Just think of the words that people use. And the reason I've slowed down to say this much, someone just lost their job, right? All of a sudden they've been laid off or they were fired. It's just a sudden wall that you hit. Concessions, food trailer, and boat rentals. Okay, so if you're a concession and food trailer, what are people? Well, they're hungry. They're starting that conversation of what to eat. Now understand, if you can get a hold of them before they're ever hungry, and now that you satisfy them, you'll always be on that roster and list as long as you've provided good service and good product, right? All right, so you own a construction company. So when people need you, is it that there's just been a terrible hail, there's been a flood, they've had an emergency in their house, there's been a fire, maybe they just bought a home and they're looking to upsizing, maybe they tried to DIY and now they've made a mess of things, right? All right, they just need someone to help me. All right, everybody, cabinets constantly look dirty. See? Now, I want you to focus on that, because this is all about your business, all right? So what do they look like? What are those triggers? So they're now there. The AC is cut out, and I'm sweating to death in the sweltering spring of Texas. And now I've made a phone call, right? So I've got to make a call because there's a trigger. Well, what does it look like steps beforehand? If I'm an HVAC, a heating and air conditioning company, it could be steps beforehand. They need maintenance. They need filters. Maybe steps beforehand, they're as happy as can be, but they're also wondering, do you clean your ducts? Is that a thing to do? I don't know if I do that. So if you could come in prior to them needing any AC work or emergency, and you say, you know what, this is how you maintain, this is how you clean, this is what you need to do. Or if you're working with a company, these are the 10 questions you need to ask. Know that, I'm sorry, everybody, if it does take a minute for a sentence for you to write, I cannot read it during the session, but I will at the end. Okay, so if you want to save it to the end, I'm happy to do that. But if you're sharing what it is you do, then please continue to, because the other participants can. That's what I love about the interaction in the chat. So I'm not just trying trying to stop you from writing that. Just know that I'm not ignoring you. I just cannot do that. It's just a lot to try to keep up with, but just because it's lengthy. Okay. So think about that. What do they look like beforehand for your construction company? Before there's a flood, what is it that they run into? It could be that they're already looking for a handyman because, I want to kind of move this brick. I want to move this wall. I've been wanting to put in and install, a new, let's say, new office electronics, so a new grid as far as the electrics in the office. Maybe I want to put a new roof on. Maybe I've been looking at all those things. You know your customers better than anyone. I'm not the subject matter expert. I'm just the marketing person that knows how to get you in front of more eyeballs that are your potential customers, so that when they find you and they see you, then when they get to that trigger point, they already have know, like, and trust. Then they can research and discover and really start looking for you. They don't understand the contract paperwork. There you go, Kristen. That's perfect. So if they don't understand the contract paperwork, then how can you start helping them ahead of time, going, you know what? Before you're in the emergency panic mode of what can happen, here's the paperwork so you can read it now without having the stress of 5 million things happening in your head. And I'm going to break it apart for you in real easy, simple, friend to friend, over the coffee table kind of speak, so that you can make some good solid decisions while you're totally focused on this and not distracted or in stress mode. Then they're going to research and discover, they're going to evaluate, and they will eventually purchase. Have no clue what Medicare entails. Exactly. They don't know. So they don't know who to believe. All these infomercials that are popping up, everything that's showing on YouTube to them, is that what they need to believe? They'll purchase, and then what's your post-purchase experience like? Because this is where another place we drop the ball. We consider, wow, we've sold them, everything's wonderful, we've closed the sale, but not in reality. We've opened a relationship, because every single one of the people that we do business with knows at least 250 to 300 people that actually they influence. They are the people that they listen to. They have know, like, and trust with their contact sphere. And if we can stay in contact with them, not only could they buy from us again, it could be that they become long-term customers and buying almost some sort of maintenance, or continually buying and buying accessories or anything else that they need. But now they are our feet on the ground, speaking positively on our behalf, where we have a chance to build know, like, and trust at a higher level than if we just came in cold saying that we're amazing ourselves, right? Okay. Assisting with pricing templates. All right. So this is a lot right here, and you can actually see this same slide in Canva. So I just pulled this from Canva because I want you to think about how to identify who that best customer is. Right here, we're talking about what their journey is. Well, in order for us to really understand the deepness of a customer journey, we really need to understand the customer. So we need to go to who that persona is. So think about this. Who is that best customer that gives you the most pleasure and profit? While I can work with any small business that actually is looking to market and they're in a startup mode, the ones I do the best with are one, e-commerce stores, because I understand that space. I've been in international e-commerce for 15 years, so I know the tools, like the back of my hand. But then also the second place is I understand for content creators, because I work with so many content creators who want to get and be visible either through affiliateship, through even getting to know and reaching potential brand collabs and brand deals, who also may want to work with somebody who can help them as far as being able to even co-train with and co-teach with. So because of those are my two best. But my third are small businesses that are startups. Now, if you're a large business, you're not going to be my best customer. I can come in and train your marketing department. I've done that, but not the best customer, because I do work with a lot of businesses that the people who are actually operating it have a whole bunch of ownership in it. So that means they have benefit, but then they also have a lot of pitfalls and responsibilities. So for you, who is that best customer? The one that gives you the most pleasure and profit. Just jot it down right now. If you have customers, think of your top 5 customers and what's similar amongst the 5 of them. What are their basic frames of reference? Are they all between the ages of 30 to 42 years old? Are they all women? Are they all mothers? Or are they all fathers? Again, take a look at all this so that you know that best customers. This is the heavy lifting that we need to do for our customers, okay? So, well, who are they? All right. Now, one of the things that I do love to do, and I'm just going to bring this up as a shortcut, is I will ask, let me see, I'm going to bring this up. Sorry, I'm trying to bring up another screen. So let me do that first. Try to talk and do that at the same time and say, all right, let's go to that. We're going to align demo. What you have in front of you is ChatGPT. That's AI, artificial intelligence, and I love it because what it does is it can collate a lot of information. It doesn't do anything new because it regurgitates information that already exists somewhere. But I'm going to ask it to say, help me find my company's best customer persona. I don't have to put any punctuation marks because it's AI and it doesn't care. So it'll say, all right, it'll tell me what I need to do to find that. And maybe I have that information already and I can identify those patterns and those demographics. So it's telling me what to do here. Now I'm going to say, I'm going to wait for it to finish. I could stop it here just by hovering over here over the stop. But then I'll say, what do you need to know to do that? Okay, so it's going to need to know what products and services do I offer, all right? What's the primary value proposition or the unique selling point of my business? Who are my current customers? If I don't have current customers, then I'll need to pull from my actual competitors. What are their current customers? Demographics, age, gender, location. What common interest or behaviors have you noticed among your customers? What feedback have you received about your product or service? What's nice is you can use export comments, and I can go export comments from my actual reviews on Google or YouTube, or even you can do that in Amazon. I think you can do a limited number in Amazon, and you can do that even on any of your socials. Any feedback that you have there, you can download that and upload that or copy and paste it into ChatGPT or any AI. So Claude 3 does really well. In fact, the free version, I'm testing that out right now, and it is really, really good. And then there's Google Gemini. You can use any of those, are free. Right now you're seeing in front of you ChatGPT 4, which is the paid version because it's got some other different pre-written GPTs in there. So I like to use that at this point, but you can see who your potential customer is. How do they typically find your product or service? What is it like? What does that journey look like for them? What factors influence their decision to purchase from you? Okay. How do they prefer to communicate? All right. This is all the stuff it's going to ask you. Once it asks you this and you answer, and you can do that in one long paragraph down here. I'm not going to do that right now because we just don't have the time to do that. But you'll answer all these questions, you'll put that in, and then the next question you'll ask is, what is the biggest challenge that they run into right now about my product or service? Because you're answering the question, what products or services do I offer? Who are my current customers? What are the common interests or behaviors from my current customers? Do I have an ideal customer profile in mind for my product or service offerings? So I've answered all that. What are the challenges and the pain points? So now it's going to tell me from my next question. So it's never just one prompt. The quality that you get from ChatGPT or any AI, any artificial intelligence, is the quality of the question that you ask. So now is, what are some of the challenges? After it answers me on that, then the third prompt, because it's a 3 prompt at least minimum to get to your persona, is, then please write a persona, a buyer persona for me to help me understand exactly who my best customer is. Okay. So let me see. I'm going to have to come off of this real quick because there's just too much. Let me see. I'm going to go to presentation mode. I'll come back to this in a minute, but I just want to make sure I answer any questions that you have. How do you answer these questions in ChatGPT? Oh, Jennifer, what I would do is, let me bring that screen back up again. So what I would do is I would type it right here. That's how you answer the questions right here. I would probably bring up a notepad or a Google Doc, because I use Google Docs to write all my thoughts down, and I would write it all there and then just copy and paste it here is what I would do next. It's for you using its own ChatGPT answers it for you using its own intelligence. Yes, and it also goes into the past. So understand that any AI is regurgitating the past and regurgitating the information that you gave it. It's just really amazing and fast at collating information, which is why it needs to ask you these questions in order to look for your best persona, right? It can't look at that without human input. Understand, you're the creator. All ChatGPT is, or any AI, is a tool. It's an enabler. Just because you have a hammer doesn't mean you know how to make a house. Okay, so ChatGPT cannot do that, but it can help you from the standpoint of actually trying to collate information and finding out exactly who your best customer is by looking at mountains of information and feedback from you. So is this program for people who already have businesses? What program? I'm not sure your question, Alejandro. Please let me know. Okay. So yes, absolutely. Yep, you got to be careful with using it for a business plan. So I see you guys helping each other. No worries. Continue that in the chat. All right, so now we can find out a short description of who that best customer is, right? Who are they? What is it that they need? What is it that they want from us? Okay, so what exactly is that? So think of your short description as you look, and you might have 3 or 4, maybe even more best personas that you actually have that you serve. It doesn't mean that you just have one customer. You could have several, but understand who those several are so that you don't miss them with your content that you're putting out anywhere on socials, on email, on your site, on your description of your Google business profile, anything like that, okay? And yes, I'm a big fan of you've got to reword it. You've got to reword it because none of the AIs are amazing, right? As far as them not meeting human emotions, human cadence, they're not there. They can get very close, and I've trained mine how to get very close, so I have to do a small amount of editing, but I still have to do editing, okay? So for example, what that would look like for you, Jennifer, I'm going to go back to the live demo, is take a look at this one. Emily is 32. She's a female. It actually comes from the responses that you gave. But remember, I started with 3 questions. One was, what information do you need to know to understand my customer persona? 2, after I put that information in and it gave me a response of what it identified or some of the trends and some of the things that stand out as that are unique to what I do. Then I asked a second question, which the second question was, what are some of the challenges that people who do business with me run into, the challenges in their life or challenges in buying my product, service, or solution? And then the third was to write a persona, an actual customer's persona. So you see here, it's talking about background, it's talking about goals and aspirations, right? It's talking about challenges and pain points and values and beliefs. Now, actually, that's one of the reasons why I have ChatGPT-4 is because it can go out to the web and it can look at somebody's website and even confirm, hey, that's some of the traffic that I'm seeing here. Or maybe you're saying people who are your best customers or best coming to your site have this kind of demographic, and I'm not seeing that from your traffic. So now you can have a conversation with your AI to find out and really identify maybe what you think is your best customer, but it's really just your best friend that you do business with, and everybody else is a different customer. So it's not somebody who already has no like and trust with you. Make sense to everybody? All right, I just wanted to show you that as a tool that you can use. Then we can go back into the presentation. What are their needs? You're very welcome, Jennifer. What are their challenges? What are the big challenges that they're running into? Write this down because this will help be your guidepost for whatever you plan and do in your marketing. If you look at this and you think, oh my gosh, this wording would be perfect for people who are watching the Super Bowl, but maybe that's not the best customer, then is it worth your time, energy, and money to do anything more with that? Or is it just that fear of missing out, that FOMO, that I need to be there because everybody else is there, right? Look at the needs and the opportunities. What opportunities do you have with them? What does it look like on their life path and their decision journey where you can assist the most? And then afterwards, so that's at the very beginning here, you'll see awareness. You see that at the very top, awareness, consideration. All of this is the funnel. Then what happens afterwards? See all of this post work? So remember when I said that a moment ago, Post-purchase post-purchase experience. We need to be and know what that is, because that post-purchase experience will have everything to do and dictate what kind of lifetime value we have from our customer and how well they actually speak positively on our behalf. Do we engage them as referral and recommendation sources? Okay. So the marketing funnel and the customer journey, how do those mesh together for you? As the owner or the person marketing in your business, it's important that you know exactly where the mesh points are. So where are those points where this align together and where you might need to bring it more into alignment? So what is the marketing funnel? You saw it a moment ago. You heard me talk about that when I was going over the agenda. And that is awareness. Do people know that you exist? Do they realize that you have a product, service, or solution that can help them? Because they can't do business with you if they don't know you exist. Consideration. Do they know, like, and trust you? Again, all of us, no matter what the budget is, wants to work with somebody who knows their stuff. We need somebody who currently is an expert, not somebody who back in 2009 may have known it, but they can't help us in the current market, current situations, and our current challenges. So that is what consideration is. It is where we build that credibility and that know, like, and trust. And if we can borrow from third-party credibility where they're giving recommendations or giving us positive reviews that people can look at as they make a decision to follow or to engage with us and spend their precious time with us, then that's a part of consideration. Conversion is, how is it that we're actually getting them to do that success action? For those in e-commerce or those selling a product or service, then that is, did they buy your product or service? That's conversion. Did they buy it? Did they take the first step? Did they give you their email address? Did they come over from socials and share their contact information? So if anything happens on socials that goes down, how are you going to get a hold of your people? How do you contact them, right? We had the great apocalypse yesterday. Everybody thought they were hacked on Meta, on Facebook and Instagram, right? So in that panic, did you realize, do you have another way to reach your customers? Or is that the only way? Because if that's the only way, then maybe part of your strategy is to have a backup plan. I know for me, from the very beginning, I work really hard to get everybody's email address with any business that I work with, because I know socials, for whatever reason, you don't have to do anything wrong. It's just that, oh, this looked funny or that looked wrong. And all of a sudden you could be unpublished. And then loyal. What are you doing to help them build, actually build their business and actually build and grow as a custom for you, so that you can now have their help, because they're now tapping their circle of influence. And not only that, they're continuing to come back to you. Now they're increasing what's known as LTV, lifetime value of a customer. Okay. So if you don't know those terms, I'm actually going to see if I can bring that up real quick. And there we go. I'm going to bring up a Google Doc. That way we have some way to just make sure we have that. All right, bring that up here front and center. Let me make it big and then I'll show it to you all. All right. Okay. All right, so it could be, we're looking at LTV, lifetime value of our customer. If they come and they buy often, every few months, we've got a consumable. If it could be, maybe it takes every 3 or 4 years that they buy, then that's their lifetime value when they come back every 3 or 4 years and they don't choose someone else. AOV is average order value. What do they on average purchase? It could be that it's a big purchase to start and it's accessories and supplies afterwards, okay? So those are some things for us to know as professionals in our business, okay? Now, as we're looking here, one of the things we also need to consider is, how are we reaching? So really know what's happening with our customers. Do you know whether or not you've got great brand awareness? So I'm going to bring up Google Analytics. Hold on just a second. I got to make it bigger. Sorry, it takes a little bit to switch between two screens. I'm actually going to bring this down a little bit. That's a little too big. All right, here we go. This is Google Analytics, a free tool that you have through your free personal Gmail and free Google account. All right, so you have that 100% free. You connect it to your website. It does not connect to Amazon, Etsy, eBay, or any marketplace. So those are known as marketplaces. Now you can go in here and you can take a look whether or not you have great brand awareness. So let's see. We're going to go to reports. All the navigation for all Google tools happens on the left-hand side. I'm going to go to reports here. I'm going to look for, let me see, for let's see. Yep, I want to know last 30 days. So I'm going to apply that. I'm going to go into acquisition, which means how am I getting my customers? I'm going to click into overview, and I'm going to look in here and see where people are coming from. All right, now I'm going to come in here and look not just at the source, but what the, actually, I think I've got that here already. So let me just focus on here. So cross network, what that means is they're coming from somebody else sharing, or potentially it being shared on another site. Could be somebody blogged about us or anything. Direct. That tells me that people know the name of the company. Direct is different from organic search. Organic search means, let's say I'm a heating and air conditioning company and they're looking at heating and air conditioning in Peoria, Illinois. Right, Illinois. Sorry. I know what it's Illinois. But if I know that you're ABC Heating and Air Conditioning Company and I put abccompany.com in here, that's direct. That means people have great brand awareness already. You have great brand awareness. For it to be number two, then I wouldn't spend a lot of time on my funnel awareness, because I've got whatever I got is a good thing going right now. So I'm good with that. I need to work maybe on consideration. So that's, I don't need to be spending a lot of time and my energy and money in awareness. I'm reaching people. They know our name. We've got good brand recognition. Let's lean into the equity that we have there and then think about whether or not they're considering us. Do they know, like, and trust us? Are we converting them? Are they doing the success action that we want? And do customers return? This is really important for us to keep up with. So where you could get slowed down is in awareness. It could be if you do not have great brand awareness. So let's say we bring that back up again. We're looking at Google Analytics and we see that, maybe direct is way down here. It's number 10. We have everything else. We've got organic social, we've got organic search, and maybe we even have paid search in there. So if we were looking at ads specifically, then I could go in here and say, let's look and see, cross-channel, exactly what's happening there. It'll tell me it's coming from, okay, so the cross network means I'm paying for that. CPC is cost per click. I'm paying for that visibility. So that's number one. Direct is just people knowing my brand. So everything else that I'm doing in social and organics is working. However, I'm getting my brand name out there. All right. Yes, Eric, you should be using both. So Eric's question, if you see that in the chat box, is should you use both analytics and Google Search Console? Analytics tells you how people behave on your site. This is all about the visitors to your site and your customers and prospects. Google Search Console is telling you the confidence that the search engine has in you. So for example, this is Google Search Console you see in front of you. It also, just so you know, by the way, everybody, this is the door to Google's library. A lot of people think that they can just post and publish on Google and then somehow miraculously Google will find you and show you up in search. Well, it's not as miraculous as you think, because you are responsible for putting your own site, your web presence into Google's library. The door to the library is known as Google Search Console. If you don't do that, then again, you're doing that hope, which it's wonderful to have, not a strategy I would ever put any money on. So you need to really think about, the fact that did I put my book or all my information in Google's library? Because if somebody's searching and our book's not in the library, Google's not going to show it up for you. And it could take up to 90 days for Google to find anything you posted online. So in that meantime, you are going without cash flow. You are putting out expenses because people don't know you exist. So what I like to do in Google Search Console, Eric, is Google Search Console. Let me bring that back up here too. Google Search Console. This is the door to Google's library for you to put things in for free. Remember what I said, 100% everything for free here. Google Analytics is something you connect to your website to let you know how people consume information on your website. And I do entire sessions on that. So we're not going to go into that right now, but I will show you how you can get more customers using Google Search Console. Because if you go to the full report here, and now you look at the results, know that purple is how many impressions you have. What are impressions? Those are eyeballs that you have. And then you see here the total clicks. All right, somebody is dragging here. I see these red, that's somebody pressing and dragging along here. So I'm not going to be able to turn that off right now, but just don't do that anymore because it's going to stay for the whole session now. All right. And so that's those red lines. That's not me. All right. And then you've got blue, which is the total clicks. So what I'm looking at here is if I'm looking at pages down here, see how it's going to stay with us this whole time? All right. So what I'm showing you here is these are the pages that are doing well. And when I say well, they're in order of importance. Who has the most impressions, the most visibility, and who has the most clicks, which shows interest. People are interested in this information. So if this is the case, right, of what's happening here, then I might decide, you know what, on this blog post where we talk about health and well-being, the benefits of resistant band exercise, I might put some links to products here because it's getting more visibility for this particular one, or even this page because it's the #1 page. I might put other links there, and I will also do a recommendation of other products that go through here. I could also, if I ran an affiliate ship, put affiliate links there too. Okay. Where do I find this? On my Google page. So Julie, you need to actually get Google Search Console right here. So Google that, be logged into your Google account, and then search Google Search Console. Click on that and it'll recognize your credentials and bring you there. The same thing with Google Analytics. But do be logged into your Google account, and understand Gmail is a Google account, even your free personal Gmail. Okay? All right, let's go back to presentation. And again, I cannot remember how to remove those lines, but they are still there. So just know that if you see that, I won't be able to move those. Just don't drag and click on the slides, because that's what exactly will happen since we are live in here. It's not a recording at all. All right, so now if you're stuck in conversion, so here's what happens and what you need to define those 6 bullet points to the right if you're stuck in awareness or consideration part of the funnel. If you're stuck in conversion or loyalty, these 5 items to the left are what you might need to consider then that are your obstacles to what's happening with conversion and loyalty. So the bottom part of the funnel. Remember what we're talking about. We're talking about the marketing funnel. So when we talk about the marketing funnel, we're looking at this. Awareness is at the top, right? And then we move through consideration, where they know, like, and trust and feel like there's credibility with us, to move further to conversion, to loyalty, which is at the very bottom. So how we reach prospects and create awareness, it could be any of these things. A lot of times what I see with small businesses is they cannot identify their customers. They just want to reach anybody, everybody, and somebody. And remember what I said about who you'll actually reach when that happens. Or it could be that their business is not online, or it's not mobile friendly. That's what's actually happening. Oops, I know where the small one came from, but your phone, 84% of us go here first when we want to know, go, do, or buy. Is your website mobile friendly? Are you online so people can find you there? Even local businesses, people want to find you online to see if you have their brand when you're open and if it's in stock. So identifying those customers, once we know what the demographics and psychographics are, we can now target everything that we're doing towards that. And anybody else that we get is gravy. We can still serve them. Remember what I said, even if they're not in your target audience or your target persona, they still can be served. You just don't want your messaging to miss this person. If this is your person who will be able to buy from you instantly, they don't question anything, they buy all the time, they stay forever customers, and you've got great average order value, great lifetime value, then absolutely you don't want to miss them. Anybody else is just pure gravy. And we love that. We'll take anybody, everybody, and somebody. We're just not going to target all of our marketing and our content towards that, so we're not diluted and seeming that we're just generic, that we don't resonate with them. Part of that is us knowing our VPs. That, just like any other company's VPs are important to them, is not vice president. It is vision, purpose, values, and passion. We need to know what that is and how we deliver what we do that makes us so unique. So remember what I said at the beginning, if I'm in a room of 250 other people just like you, why would I choose you? I was working with realtors, and that's one of the things that they were able to bring out. One of the realtors said, you know what, why people would choose me is because I'm actually a retired teacher, so I know the school system very well. If you're wanting to make a decision on the different schools, because that's what I've spent my lifetime focused and studying on our area, what are the highlights of different schools? Is this magnet school or this public school or this private school better, and why? What is it that you're looking for your children? What experience do you want from them here, or what experience do you have from the past place that you lived that you want to continue here? So she was able to stand out on her expertise and voice that, which means she stays head and shoulders, because a lot of times the second challenge people have is they can't voice it. It's in their head where no one else can get it except for them. So how do you engage and influence and get that know, like, and trust? It is about knowing what matters most to them. It is about knowing and listening and learning, because a lot of times people don't want to be told what to do. We all like to buy, but none of us like to be sold. And we want to be heard more than anything. So are you listening to your customers? Do you read your reviews? Do you pick out exactly what it is that you do best in their own words? Not what you think it is, not what industry speak tells you it needs to be, but what they are telling you in their own words, because that's what they're searching with when they're either saying, doing this, or saying, hey Google, hey Alexa, or hey ChatGPT. They're doing all of those things. So how is it that you're going to communicate and deliver value? Well, you need to know what's valuable and important to them. Find out what they're looking for when they're going into search, what they're actually searching for. If you don't have customers, then look at your competitors' reviews, because in their own words, they're telling you exactly what they need. And also, if you look at competitors' reviews, you can see what they do well, what they're known for, and also the sweet spot that might be a great opportunity for you, right? Now, this is where I'm showing you Google Search Console, which Eric asked about earlier. That's where you can find it there. That at the bottom left hand is the URL you can use. And remember, if you want a copy of today's slides, they are going to be available till the top of the hour, and then they're not going to be available, but they will be emailed to you with a replay. Okay? All right. Identify those popular search terms also in Google Trends. This is a free tool you can use to find out what people are searching for around a topic or around an area. So if you want to, let's say you live where I live in Midland, Texas, and I want to know in the past 4 hours what people in Midland have been searching for, I can do that with Google Trends. And then now I can figure out what I need to post. I'm a big fan of Fish Where the Fish Are. It takes a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money to get people to look over here when they're looking over here. So why not align it with where they're at? And this takes me knowing my customer and knowing our area. With Google Trends, these are all the great things that I can look at. Keyword research, I can update my content, I can find out what do I need to post next, right? Now, to convert customers, it might be these 3 things that I need to look at. Maybe I don't have calls to action on my site. And I really need to work on that, because if you expect busy people who are inundated with 12,400 messages on any given day to know what to do next, it's not because they're stupid. It is because they're distracted, right? They're absolutely distracted. All right, one more time. Here's how you get the slides right there. They're available till the top of the hour. After that, they will be emailed to you, okay? So if you're having problems with this, maybe it's that you're having problems with your checkout process. One of the things that a lot of people don't look at, especially in e-commerce, is they think that abandoned cart, which is what it sounds like, people just abandon their things and abandon a cart. They think abandoned cart is the same as abandoned checkout. It's not. Abandoned cart might be I'm having a little buyer's remorse or feeling like I've overspent. Maybe I need to do a little bit more comparison shopping. So I'm having a little guilt in there. But checkout, abandoned checkout means I put not only my cart items there, I put my email address, I put my address, and now I've gotten to the only last question, which is payment. And for some reason, I don't put payment in there, and it could be one of 2 things. I don't trust this site and this business. All of a sudden, I'm questioning whether my financial or my credit card information will be safe. Number 2, they don't give me another opportunity to pay with what I want to pay with. Like maybe I like PayPal, or I use Google Pay or Apple Pay, and I don't even know what my credit card number is, and I'm not going to go all the way across to my locker over there to get my card out. Or if I'm shopping in my bed, I'm not going to get up and go get it. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of tools here and a lot of things that you can do, all focused on making sure you understand the funnel, which is most important. I'm not going to talk about advertising, but the funnel, because part of that is loyalty, right? So part of that's loyalty. We need to understand the funnel and where we could be stuck on the funnel. And then we need to know that we actually are experts and understand backwards and forwards our customer's journey. It is in this way that we can figure out what our next action plan is. So if you look at your funnel and you realize, you know what, I don't have a lot of awareness, because so instead of me trying to figure out all these different fancy things that are going to be for as far as loyalty, maybe I need to work on awareness, or maybe I need to split that. Maybe I can use loyalty to help me with awareness by encouraging now and putting programs together for my current customers to go share me with their circle of influence. Okay, so think about that. There is a myth out there that knowledge is power, and it is not. Knowledge is not powerful until it is applied. So how are you going to apply what you learned today? Give you a moment to look at that. And as we finish up in the last 2 minutes of our time together here today, I am going to share the resources. Number one, it's your Google partners that you actually work with who invited you here. Because as I said, they are the boots on the ground for you. They know who your local suppliers, your local vendors, your local resources are that can help you. And I'm all about local. If you can build up your local community, please, please, please do that first. Plus, they're right there at arm's length and they have all the people that can help you. All right. Now, if you need my help, this is how you can reach me. This is a paid membership, though, to do this. I do walkthroughs. I'll answer your questions there, but this is a paid membership. We do have a free community. If you just want to get the updates every Wednesday, I give you the latest Google updates and how you as a business or a content creator can use this and apply this to help grow your business, okay? And I like to model everything that I talk about. Ask for reviews all the time because most people don't leave a review because they were never asked. So I'll ask for a review. If I've given good service and good information, always ask for a review yourself. And now I am going to go ahead and stop exactly this part of the presentation and the recording.